Welcome everyone to the BX Sports Jedi Network, and I am BX Sports Jedi, the Bronx Bomber Strike Back. I'm with Chris the Flash tonight. Salute, Chris. What's going on?
What's up, kid? What's up?
All right, man. We got a lot to talk about with the New York Yankees. Everyone knows us that we do a lot of the Yankees watch along. Myself and Chris the Flash, and Chris the Flash always joins me on the watch alongs. And also, we got to take a minute for everyone that's listening to the video. Please support Chris' channel as well as Chris the Flash SHY Talk at YouTube channel, please. Part of the channel, the JEDI Sports Network. We help each other as well, so we want to make sure to get his viewers. If you like our content, you're gonna love Chris's content because it's an extension, a branch of our channel. So, with that said, we got to talk about the New York Yankees. We didn't wrap. We last time we spoke about the New York Yankees, it was the final out of the American League Championship Series, Game 4, when the Yankees lost. And first and foremost, I want to ask you, what was your thoughts with this Yankee season? Not the postseason. Let's talk about the regular season first. All in a nutshell, what is your thoughts?
Well, I mean, we started off hot, which it was amazing. You know, everybody thought we were gonna break the single season win record. Um, then August came, and then injuries came, and then we started losing a lot. But there was only one consistent person throughout the whole season was Judge. Um, another probably another two good surprises is probably Nestor and Trevino. But other than that, I mean, I can't say too much because it's Aaron Boone now. Um, yeah, he wins 90 some games, but 90 some games don't win you World Series. So I feel like I'll give the season, like, if I had to give it a grade, I'll probably give it like a C plus to a B minus.
Okay.
So that'd be my thoughts for the regular season.
All right. Me personally, the New York Yankees regular season was filled with a little bit of everything. They were very exciting. They were very entertaining. The first part until to July, they were a really good team. My goodness, we had some aspirations and some hope here on the Yankee juggernaut. Because remember, we're coming before the gate started. We thought there were going to be, a lot of people here on this channel. Some of our pundits here thought they were going to be a fourth place team at worst, and third place. I had them in wild card. Similar situation, playing that wild card game, that wild card series, and then go forward. But they surprised us by winning the division. Not only that, playing a hell of a season. What a season and what a revelation from Nestor Cortez Jr. Now, this is not a shortcoming. He did that last year. There's a sample size of him that was extremely pleasant. Nestor Cortez was an extremely pleasant revelation here, to see him continue from the season prior to that, and reliable left-handed starter. Now, again, that's preaching to your strength of your ballpark. Yankee Stadium have Death Valley, the short porch in right field. You want to have a lefty and like Nestor Cortez who just worked quickly to have success. And the Yankee pitching, I'm not going to complain. They were very good, Chris. At least the starters. No one expected what we got from our starting starters. All 5 to 6, depending, up and down with injuries, they were all solid.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. I mean, the only probably position was kind of iffy was the fifth because it was a fluctuate of pitchers. It was Montaz, it was Jordan Montgomery, it was Domingo. So other than that, yeah, the first four, yeah, I didn't have too much of a problem, especially like Sevy. I know Sevy was going to the injury reserve and everything, but for him that had all them setbacks and still pitched pretty decent, I can't complain.
Right, and as we mentioned, before the All Star break, the Yankees looked really well. We had a little bit of a not of a warning sign, especially when they lost that Pittsburgh series. They lost that game in Pittsburgh, the 2 games in Pittsburgh, and so forth, and closing out. We saw there was something going on with the Yankees. Like they got a scouting report, they got figured out, or personally, I think the Yankee season changed, in my opinion, when Michael King got injured. When the Michael King injury, it changed everyone's roles in the bullpen. And I think that hurt the New York Yankees, especially then prior to Michael King. You're also overcoming the Chad Green. I know everyone's like, "Oh, Chad Green gives up a whole lot of home runs, or he wasn't that okay, good," but still, you knew everyone had a certain role, like like The Rock says, know your role and shut your mouth. And a lot of the teams, other than the Yankee pitchers, knew their roles in that bullpen. And then when Green went down, King stepped up. And then when King went down, they kind of felt like who's going to step up. A few of the guys did okay, but no one was Michael King, Chris.
Well, I know we ain't talking about the postseason, but I gotta give props to Wandy. He was probably the most consistent pitcher we had out the bullpen, which that's crazy to say because everybody was putting him next to Licky, and it's like Wandy said, "Nah, I'm not Licky. I'm way better than Licky," and he proved it. And I think they should definitely try to see if they can like extend him because Wandy's not that old.
No, no, he's not. Serviceable pitcher from the left side. You can never have enough left-handed relievers. And also, when as we've seen, now we're into the All Star break, and I'm looking at the Yankees. I was excited, and come the All Star, and then the trading deadline was looming. I'm like, wait, well, we all knew the elephant in the room. The Yankees want another starter. They want another strong starter who has lights out ability. And Luis Castillo's name was out there, and I know Cashman tried, and Cashman tried. You see, one thing I got, as much as we ridicule the general manager, he calls and tries to get these players from the other teams. In the past, they will go get them. They were the big Yankees. Lately, I feel like I don't know if teams don't want to play ball with the general manager with the New York Yankees, or we're not going to give you, or as he lost his touch. It's a little bit. Chris, what's your thought on not getting Castillo? Did Cashman lose his touch as a general manager, or it's just teams just don't want to play ball with the New York Yankees?
Probably a little bit of both. Be honest with you, and people might get mad when I say this. And me and Kat brought this up. Um, yeah, we wanted another pitcher, but to be honest with you, we should have got the pitcher that me and Kat both wanted, and I was Syndergaard. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Castile, but Castile got hurt just as much as Montas did. So, to be honest with you, if we would have got Montas and then probably Syndergaard, it probably would have been a little bit better. Because right now, I mean, Syndergaard, he just pitched the last game, and he didn't look too bad the 3 innings. So, I don't know. It just, I think people don't want to help the Yankees win, which is understandable. But you also got to be realistic. Like, you can't be asking for the moon, but then you get crap from another team, and you give your best play to the other team, because that doesn't make sense.
I agree with you that you got to, it's like you have to invest. You got to give something to get something.
Mm-hmm.
And I know at the beginning of the season, I did not want Frankie Montas, especially when right a week prior to this trading deadline, he had some shoulders issue. And I said, well, maybe some rest and stuff like that. And I'm like, he has not been majorly injured. And he still has a shoulder issue or fatigue, whatever you want to call it. And again, we mentioned, this Noah Syndergaard already had the surgery done on his shoulder. He's coming back. He's getting strength. He's getting stronger with the surgery. He had a 1-year deal from Anaheim. He was going to leave at the end of the year. He would not cost you a lot of prospects. And he pitched in New York. He pitched in the World Series. Now it's his second World Series. And the fact that they didn't even kick the tires on the Noah Syndergaard was a little head scratching. But meanwhile, you were going for Frankie Montas, an unproven. Let's face it, Montas is unproven. He did never pitch in the postseason with the Athletics. We don't know what it is, and of course, sometimes those unproven sometimes become gems. They just take their game to another level. But he wasn't in a contract year yet. If he was an unproven commodity going to a contract year, I would have been like, you know what, that's a good one because one thing I always say, Chris, and I say it in any major sports. Nothing motivates a player when they're about to get that bag. They just take their game always to another level, and they have either career years or they just have a career postseason. We've seen guys that were career postseason that they get set for life right before a contract. The same way, we could talk about that. We'll get to it in a moment. But I wanted a Syndergaard because he banked on himself for $20, $21 million, $23 million this year. And he wants to get a long-term contract. You think what we've seen from this postseason run with the Phillies and this second half with the Phillies, Syndergaard's going to be primed to get a deal, a 4-year deal, easily for any major league club.
Yeah, and just like Carlos Rodon, he proved that he can stay healthy.
Yes, another
So
one.
yeah, so that helps too. So I just think like I don't want to jump ahead because I want to say something about the press conference that we had, but
Right,
I
right.
just think Cashman, if Cashman's coming back, he needs to be smarter about some of the moves he made. I understand you don't want to trade some of these prospects, but we have too many infield prospects. You have to get rid of them. All of them can't come up and play. All of them is not going to be good at the same time. I'm sorry. That's just the world we live in. So
Yes.
if you got to get a good starting pitcher and you got to give up one of those prospects, then you have to give up one of those prospects up and stop trying to hug them or hold them or wait till they are misused and then they don't have any value no more. And he's got to learn to stop doing that.
One thing I know as we're breaking it down, we're doing the timeline with the New York Yankees. We're right now at the part where one thing I'm going to say that I was so far wrong, but you can never have enough of you can never have enough starting pitching. But now with time, always gives a reason. And the Harrison Bader trade, not a big fan. Was not a big fan of it. Did not like it because you're trading for a guy who was injured, wasn't available to play, wasn't didn't know a timetable when the guy was going to return. We didn't know. My God, is this a significant injury? Because maybe it was because of the Jacoby Ellsbury syndrome. Scared. If we don't know when Jacoby Ellsbury went to witness protection. Never seen it. And we never. And Steve, salute Steve. Steve is in the chat with us, joining us. It's always good to see you. And when I looked and I go Bader though he's not playing, but boy, let me tell you something. Harrison Bader is the only reason why the Yankees making it to the American League Championship Series. To be honest with you, and I'm going to be the first one to admit it. I didn't want the guy. I didn't like the kid. I was like, my goodness, we gave up Jordan Montgomery, a left-handed pitcher who in Yankee Stadium you need left-handed pitching to neutralize the left-handed bats. You don't want a left-handed bat to tee off on that short porch, but my goodness, what a tremendous postseason player. Now he has to show he's got to stay healthy now. If the Yankees are going to give him the keys to center field for Harrison Bader coming next season, we'll get into that. One of the main check marks: stay healthy and health wise. That's a big one. But I'm going to be the first one. I was wrong. For Bader did turn out being a really good defensive, not only defensive but a very clutch postseason hitter. That's a move that I think Cashman did very well there. Now, I wish he would have addressed and gotten a closer in this post for, he'd done that before, even when we had our own closers. He always got other team's closer and made them an eighth inning, seventh inning, and dominant. I was surprised he didn't do that in the trading deadline.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of closers and good bullpen arms is available. I mean, I think it was what the Angels closer he could have got.
Iglesias.
Yeah, he could have got him. Trying to think who else. The dude from Pittsburgh,
A few
Bednar.
other, but no,
Yeah,
a few arms were moved. Yankees. I'm surprised. Usually Yankees add bullpen arms, especially I believe they must have thought internally they had enough bringing up arms. Which in the regular season it kind of did, but then they didn't. They ran out of strikeout. They
yeah,
needed was swing and a miss type of arms. They had a lot of guys that would put ball in contact and so forth, but they didn't get in a guy who you could bring in and you knew who was going to come in and strike out the side. And they missed that. And of course, no one knew what Aroldis Chapman was going to revert to, was just going to fall off a cliff. No one expect that from him either. We thought we were going to get, something good, a good closer, reliable closer, might give you a little bit of the heebie-jeebies from time, but he was going to get, he was going to be 75% of the time closing games or close to 80. We didn't expect we were going to get a 55, 45% closing rate from him in the second half. And then, of course, leading to what happened before the postseason. The Yankees, what worried me was that month of August. We were doing a lot of the watch alongs, and my God, they couldn't win. They couldn't get out of their way. Everything just crumbled. And one thing that concerned me was the managerial. What can you do to steady the ship? He kept calm. He didn't lose his cool. He kept calm. He kept the guys afloat. But could it that I don't know. Looking at it, hindsight 2020, I don't know what he could have done. What could have Boone do different? Norm, let me ask you that question. What do you thought Boone could have done for them to stop that slide in August?
Um, I know he don't like throwing his players under the bus, but sometimes if your players ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing, you gotta held them be held accountable, bro. You gotta bench them sometimes. And I understand you don't want to hurt their feelings, but that's what they grown people. They making millions of dollars. So that's the only thing that I don't like about Boone. Other than that, I don't really have a problem with Boone. It's more Cashman than Boone.
Okay, okay. You know what? You made a great point. To be honest with you, you made a great point there. With what you said, throwing a couple of holding, and you doesn't have to totally ridicule them, and say, but just call them out in the media, call them out and say, listen, you need to play, well, I gotta sit you guy, I gotta go to the next hot arm, or the next hot bat or defensive. You made a couple of errors at short or third or third or whatever position. I gotta sit you here to get your head clear. He did it with Hicks, but Hicks, because the crowd was just, the fan base was just all over him, and it felt so, the raining of boos for Aaron Hicks, it wasn't healthy, and he had to make that move. So the fan base kind of forced him to make that move. But my goodness, Chris, that's the one thing of Boone, right, that I agree with you there. And then we get September to move the timeline to get getting close to the postseason. The Yankees, there's a lot of doubters, a lot of fans, a lot of people thought they weren't going to win this division. They had such a comfortable lead. They had such a equity in the first half that they pretty much won that by kind of default, because the Blue Jays were terrible. They didn't really want it. They didn't really want that division. The Rays, they got in. They both got into the playoffs, but they didn't really grasp getting the American League East. We win the American League East, but here's the thing that kind of messed us up. We were all in that August, took away the home field advantage for us from the Astros. We just handed it to them. Here, take a six-game lead, and take the home field advantage. And as history is going to tell us, I kind of was a little bit of a mistake there. They lost their edge for once they lost that home field advantage playing the regular season.
Yeah. Just to go back, I know you
Mhm.
said because of Michael King and everything, but I think that edge that you talking about that was missing, I think we missed it when Donaldson had that issue with Tim Anderson.
Mm. You know what? That's perfect. That is that you're absolutely right, because it kind of yeah, it kind of like, dude, are we gonna have to fight with everybody now? Like, yeah, yeah,
Like
like,
the
yeah.
hurt Jackie thing, and then Judge didn't have his back, and like I'm not gonna lie, that was the moment right there when we should have got rid of Donaldson, because that moment should have never happened. Even if y'all joked about that Jackie stuff, and Tim Anderson, you know, said something about it, you should have never brought it up, and
You're
you
right.
did.
You're right. And also there, because remember, what was the main reason why they pulled that trade and bought Josh Donaldson here? Oh, the Yankees um, clubhouse was too laissez-faire. Everybody, it's too, buddy buddy. We're taking pictures, hanging out. Urshela, Torres. You've seen it all over Instagram, all over the social media. They're all hanging, happy-go-lucky, and which is a good thing. You don't want teammates to be fighting, and you don't want the Bronx Zoo from the 70s, 77, 78 Yankees. You don't want them going at odds either. But the reason was they needed an edge. They needed an edge in that locker room, and they brought up Donaldson. I think, like you said, that Tim Anderson play and Boone not Judge not really getting his back, I think kind of shut down Donaldson from being even more edgier to get the guys chippier. Because, like you said, after that they started declining in their play, because maybe Donaldson was like, "You need to shut up and go in the corner." He goes, "You know what? I'm gonna just shut up. Yeah, I don't got my back. Screw you guys," kind of thing. It kind of seemed like that. You don't got my
Yeah,
back. You know what? Go screw you guys. I'm just play it out. I'm making $25 million, whatever. Whatever. What? Little Orange Cassidy, whatever.
but
Eh,
what's
eh,
crazy about that is, Kev, If they
Hmm.
needed that edge, why you just inside Korea? That's what I don't understand.
That's see that's a yeah, that's a square. That's around going into a square peg. It's just that, like, we all ask that same question. I guess that's the only only way to get Gary Sanchez off the team. That's the only thing I could think of. The only way they were going to get rid of a Gary Sanchez was taking, doing that kind of move to bring, and that's all I could think of, Chris. That's all I could think of. Is the way they really desperately wanted to get rid of Gary Sanchez, and that's the only the way to do it. They had to throw it in a shovel, and when they thought that, we'll get another young, controllable middle infielder who could play multiple positions, but we'll plug him at short, and we'll bring Donaldson, and we just gotta get rid of Sanchez. Maybe Donaldson will bring that edge to the stadium, that edge to the clubhouse. Could play a really good defensive third base. Supposedly he doesn't strike out a lot. He's a contact hitter, even though he's aging. So they thought they were going to get a win-win situation, and I don't think Donaldson. I mean, he wasn't great. He was. Let me give you this. He was really good defensively, though. He was extremely
Yeah.
well defensively. But a lot of those defensive plays, I think Gio Urshela could have made as well.
Yeah. And
I
then
think.
I think what didn't help too with Donaldson is the Yankee philosophy of trying to hit home runs, and then him aging didn't work out too good because all he did was strike out. And it's like I seen Donaldson play. He doesn't strike out that much, but it seemed like every time Yankees get somebody, they tell him hit a home run. You got to hit home runs. You got to. And it's like you're messing up the hitters. Glaber, he was doing good the first half. Then I told him, Glaber, you hitting those bombs again. I think you can keep hitting them. And then he started going back to the old Glaber. Y'all have to stop doing that.
Yep.
Let the
Which at least.
let,
Yes. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm about to say let the players develop. Like you're not letting them develop. You want them to keep hitting home runs. We got enough big boppers. We don't need any more big boppers. We need contact hitting.
Which leads me to the next. Another question there was, we go into September. We clinched the American League. We go into the postseason. Finally, we get the postseason. No wild card. We're finally a division winner. We get a week off or with a couple of days off. We play the Guardians. Now, the Guardians team was close. It was the Yankees. We never thought the Yankees were in danger of losing that series. At least me. At least I can say I'm not gonna. It's not all hindsight union because they won. No, I never was really concerned that the Yankees would lose to the Guardians, even in that Game 5. I knew they just had much more talent. But again, the Guardians exposed the Yankees, especially that game. When they had over 15 hits. Like, my goodness, hitting. But they barely beat the Yankees. But they relied on the home run ball. Again, Chris, back to that philosophy. It didn't, and then we play the Astros. We get swept. We get our asses handed to us. Again, that philosophy, all or nothing. Game 1, we were just inches away of getting and winning that with the home run that we missed. That the long out. You're like, oh, that Judge almost had. This is, again, they haven't won since 2009, and the philosophy's changing. They want us to be Bronx Bombers, home run hitters. I think it's time, and then we're gonna hear from Cashman with the conference, but I'm gonna have to hold the Cashman, the scouting department, the philosophy, their thought process on fire, because we're getting the same results no matter who it is, what team, what players you bring. You could bring in Sheffield, A-Rod. You could bring, it's all the same. They all swing and miss too much.
Mm-hmm. I
It's
think the 2019, like I don't consider Robinson Cano or Mark Teixeira boppers because they're more contact hitters. I think the only two boppers that I remember was Hideki and A-Rod.
yeah,
So I mean, you don't need that's all you need is them. And don't get me wrong, yeah, Robinson Cano and Teixeira every once in a while they'll hit a home run or two, but they were more contact hitters. You don't need 9 big boppers and think we're gonna win every game. That's not gonna happen.
I agree.
And it's like a domino. If one person's not hitting, it seems like all of us is not hitting.
Yeah, and that happens way too much. and especially
Yeah.
in the postseason. In the postseason, it happens too much. We can't have the only this at least this postseason, the only one that was really hitting was Harrison Bader. That's it.
And I'll give because he did carry us one game. I'll give Stan credit because he hit that 3-1 bomb early. But
Yes.
other than that, those are the only two. I mean, okay, and Rizzo, I'll give Rizzo credit too because he was consistent. But other than those three players, like every Judge, when I was watching Hector talk about Judge, he was batting 0.68. That's not good.
No. And then Judge, the strikeouts return for Aaron Judge. You
Uh-huh.
know, and swinging away, down and away. He just didn't have. I don't know if it was mentally fatigue but of course, cream rises to the top. When you're going to get into that deep playoff roundage, you're going to go against the best of the best. And it didn't look good for Judge there. The way he just did not pan out in the postseason. If he would have had a decent postseason, my goodness, but he left you something lack of desire. And I want to bring up a topic with that when it comes to Judge. And I know we're going to talk about this press conference, but prior to the Yankees losing here, now do you put stock in this that they shouldn't be booing Judge? That's how dare the Yankee fans for booing Judge. He just hit you 62 home runs. You had guys even chiming in. Jose Canseco had to put his 2 cents in. And Arrieta had to put his 2 cents, and other players. They shouldn't be. You know what? When you're paying over $100 something just to park, when you're paying $60, $100 to park in Yankee Stadium, and when you go to the tickets to go play, and you haven't won a World Series since 2009, and you've been here since 2016 or 2017, and you haven't delivered, and you're the face of the franchise, and fan base remembers what you did in Boston in that series. When we won Game 2, you walked around with the boombox poking the bear with New York, New York. And what happens? We came back to New York and we got our asses handed. Fans have the right to boo. That's just my thought.
Yeah, I was saying something about that too on another stream. Like I was I was saying now it's getting pathetic to where now you blaming fans to where players. That's why players are leaving because of the fans, because of us. No, it ain't because of us. It's because of y'all. First of all, is the organization putting this bad product on the field. Second, is the players feeling entitled, thinking, "Oh, we make so much money. Screw y'all. We don't really need to play." No, that's not how that works. If it wasn't for us, y'all wouldn't make that money.
Exactly. If it wasn't for us
So
paying for the MLB ticket, the
yeah,
MLB show, the game, going to the stadiums, watching it on ESPN or anywhere any other devices, anywhere you get it, or even right now, what we're doing right now, having a conversation on a podcast about it. Because if it wasn't for that generates revenues, eyeballs. You guys will be just working with like us, coming home from work, all tired, out in the heat, out in the cold, and you would have been working 9 to 5.
and another thing, Judge, you're our best player, right? And don't get me wrong, one of my favorite players is A-Rod, and he was choking in the playoffs. But see, the difference between A-Rod's teams, he had Jeter. You don't have a Jeter. You are Jeter. So yeah, everything can change if you next postseason, if you come back for us and everything, and you start hitting and stuff like that, that could change. But for you to be quote unquote our captain, you got to show why you're our captain. Because right now, if we like it or not, Rizzo's actually the captain.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and both players will be testing free agency. By the way, Rizzo, there all reports are saying that Rizzo's going to opt out. He wants to stay with the New York Yankees. Don't get me wrong, but he would like a longer term deal to stay with the New York Yankees, and it's possible they might. We have the list of free agents, but before we get there, the Yankees were eliminated. What is almost 10 days ago, or a week and some change. And why do we have to wait now until November 4th to hear from the manager and the general manager about the end of the season?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And
No.
then like the owner, you can't even find the owner.
That's another one, Mister Steinbrenner, Mister Hal Steinbrenner. Where are you? You know, you're putting some clips on the media through the media, or a quick quote, and you're agreeing and you're happy with the manager, and you're happy with the general manager. I give you my thoughts on the season. The regular season was okay. It was a good regular season. It was very entertaining, but it's like Groundhog Day. We expected, again, it was pleasantly surprised to win a playoff round, but losing to the ALCS to the same Astros, you didn't do anything. No, you shouldn't. You know what? Personally, both neither the general manager or the manager deserve to return, in my opinion. And I like Cashman, but he's over 20 plus years as a general manager. Time to change the voice, the philosophy. If you love him that much, like a son or a family member, you don't want to fire him. That's fine. Bring him into the front office. Do something. Team president, or no, vice president, a head of scouting. Do something different within the organization. Reassign his title, his assignment, but let someone else make in the organization, or within, or whenever, or bring to become the general manager to buy the groceries. Maybe a fresh set of eyes, or an input of evaluating players and negotiating might be needed here in the Yankees case, in my opinion.
Yeah, like everybody keeps talking about something. Oh, nobody. What if we get rid of Cash and nobody can do it? We haven't won since 2009. Guess what? If we gotta wait 2 more years, if it comes to a new, GM, I don't care. We need something new.
We need new. We need new. And I know they got Sweetie Murray asked them a couple questions about that, in their scouting department, or their analytics department, if anything's changed. But it doesn't. It seems like their analytics department, they do moves that makes you scratch your head. It's non-baseball moves. And my question, do they have the right analytics people there? You know, that's my question. Do they have the right people? This Again, Judge and Sevy, they're only successful from the farm. Indeed, Steven. They bought in Tyler Austin up. He hit a home run his first time up. They didn't play him much. He's gone. The list is on. Dexter Fowler got traded for Sonny Gray. Dexter Fowler never panned out. Okay, fine. You never know. What happened in Oakland. They got too many. They so many prospects come up through the Yankee system that we've seen, that we held. And Clint Frazier, the kid. All I heard about is quick bat speed, and it showed. He had quick bat speed, but he didn't. I personally, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he ever got a fair shot to play with the Yankees. I know due to him too from getting injured, but he didn't know what position he was going to play. It was left field, right field. He even offered to play first base, just to get on the field, and that never happened. Clint Frazier was another one. That Miguel Andujar, what a talented player, wasted. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? When it comes to the minor league system, and of course, I don't know, Chris. I'm right now. The Yankees they're good, but they're not that championship level greatness yet.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like they spending money, like Cash been spending money on the wrong stuff. Like the whole Judge thing. You should have extended Judge after his rookie season, because you did it for Hicks and you did it for Luis Severino. Why the hell you didn't do it for him? That doesn't make sense.
It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense.
Now we're gonna lose Judge, and we're not gonna get nothing for him. Like if he goes, like what you basically let another Jeter just go, and you almost let go of Jeter, because your ego almost got oh, you shouldn't be making this much because this is how old you are. It doesn't matter if he's the cornerstone of the franchise. Pay the person. Now you got a section called the Judge Chambers. If he leaves, what you gonna call it?
Let's just go back to seats. Yeah, then the marketing ability on that. That's dollars and cents. It's about dollars and cents here, and Judge brings in revenues to the New York Yankees, not just with the Judges Chamber, the merchandise, the Yes Network. Folks that want to watch Judge. You don't think they had the greatest? They had their greatest numbers of ratings when this chase for 62 here for Maris's record. That was must see TV. And yeah, Steve, that's right. It's going to be called the empty seat
Hmm.
section.
Yep.
It's going to exactly the empty seat corner. Absolutely. Great quote, great one there. And listen, look. In 2009, when the New York Yankees last won the World Series, they spent the most money. Oh, but how much more money you want to spend? They spend $50 million more than the next team in baseball, and it shows. It shows in baseball, you got to be the highest spending team to win a World Series. To be honest with you, it shows. And look at the NBA, the Golden State Warriors. They got almost a $250 million luxury tax bill, and they have a cap because they spend to and they win NBA champions. In order to win any title in these major sports, you got to spend above and beyond. Listen, us the product, the consumers, us, we will support the team if you put us a World Series caliber team and you bring us a team. And I know, and the thing is, they're delusional. They swear that the team that they're putting on the night in, night out, it's a World Series caliber team. This team is at best American League Championship Series. And that's what we saw. I think personally, the Yankees went as far as they really could go. Is getting to the American League Championship Series. They're not that set to go to the World Series. We didn't have a freaking closer, Chris. No closer. How you expect us to win a world, go even to the world, make it to the World Series without a closer?
Yeah, that it doesn't make sense. And like I'm trying not to rant, but it's like it's making me mad because it just we are the most expensive franchise in sports history. But then everybody keeps saying how spends his money. Yeah, I'll say this: he does spend, but if you're gonna give your money to Cashman and you're telling him he has a budget, then you also need to tell him when he does stupid stuff like re-sign Hicks and them for this type of money and everything. Because how much is the franchise worth? What, 6 billion, 4 billion? And then you got the network that's worth another 4 billion. So I don't want to hear this cry broke. Because then you got the person on the other side named Cohen spending so much money because he wants to win. And us fans, we're not trying to say, oh, you got to get all the best players. That that's not what we were talking about. What we want the young talent that y'all don't come up properly, and then we want y'all to spend on the pieces that we need. Like I'm not gonna lie, Machado and Harper should have been with us.
Exactly. And the thing, what the funny thing is, Chris, Bryce Harper only makes $3 million more than
Yep.
Josh Donaldson. Folks. So he's at 28 million. Josh Donaldson 25. You could have, and of course, what did they need? A left-handed bat, a left-handed stick in the outfield. And they got Benintendi, but Benintendi's a free agent as well. You don't think me Harper in the outfield right now, in either left or left right field with this team? My goodness, in Yankee Stadium, he would have been legendary.
And and I'll say this too, Kev. If we would have got Harper, and then say if we did get Machado, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't have cared if Aaron Judge left.
You
I
yeah,
wouldn't have cared because you got his feeling. You got Harper.
it's a lot of moves. Me personally, I knew we were in trouble, and I'm still holding a grudge to Cashman. Bothered, and I'm bothered. And this is one, and I like Cashman, but I'm holding a grudge on him. Was back in 2012, if I'm not mistaken, or 2014. My dates might be wrong, but when a certain Tigers pitcher was a free agent and wanted to come to the New York Yankees, and they didn't even sit down and even look his way or batted his way by the name of Max Scherzer. He wanted
Hmm.
when he was at the Tigers, and we didn't sign him. I was like, whoa, 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 and rest in peace, Mr. Steinbrenner George passed away. And when they didn't go after Scherzer, who's clearly said he wanted to be a Yankee, coming out of Detroit Tigers after the Yankees got swept themselves by 2014, if I'm not mistaken, they got their butt swept also by the Tigers. And you didn't go after Scherzer? You let him go to the Nationals? The Nationals? And look what he did? You're telling me at that time when you put a Sebastian Scherzer, well, because we already have Masui, we already have. And that's not, the Yankees want to stay on the luxury tag. Come on, Matt Scherzer. You never put it. Listen, If you ever got to go over your luxury tax for pitching, you do it because that's what wins. Pitching and defense wins baseball. And they're not doing this. They're going by home runs. They're getting home runs, and they're not. And ah man, and then the thing is, they used to say they had um, good relievers. They had the best closer in baseball, of course. And then after that, they were still great. They were still good in the bullpen. That 2019 team, they were really good with that bullpen. They bought Canely and so forth. And Green and company and Batman. They were really great. But they never got back. They never added to their strength was the bullpen. It just, what are we doing here? It's like, it worrisome. It's like, what are we doing? Spinning wheels, worrying about, well, let's not bring everybody back because we'll say we'll penny pinch. This will come off the books and we'll get under the luxury tax again and reset it. They're more worried about counting when they're going to reset this tax than actually investing on a winning product that might actually get to the World Series. You'll make that money back once you reach the Fall Classic. You will make a lot of money. Trust us. They know the numbers when the Yankees get it in the World Series, the revenue that brings in.
Like since Cashman has been our GM, if you realize the pitchers that haven't pitched for us, you'll be like, what the hell? Because I'm not gonna lie, even when they pass their prime, they still come to the Yankees, like Randy Johnson. And Andy Pettitte came back from Houston. Roger came back from Houston. You look at all these pitchers like Johan Santana, Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, Justin Verlander, Scherzer. All these pitchers that he passed up that we could have had, but no, you want to go for Carl Provano, Pineda, Sonny Gray. And I'm not gonna lie, the Sonny Gray I could understand because he was good, but then to come to find out, y'all kept telling him to throw the wrong pitches.
Yes.
So then, of course, he's not going to produce in New York if he's not comfortable.
Right.
So that's what bothers me the most. And then, like I said, when it's time to trade our prospects, you don't trade them, and then when they're worth nothing, then you in your feelings. But you should have been trade them if you wasn't going to play them. Like Florial. I don't think Florial's ever going to be a starter for us. Why not trade him? He still has value.
He's still not. He's done. There's no value no more. The Yankees ruined that value. That missed the war. They could trade him. Yes, they could trade him, but they're not going to get anything. They're not going to get anything like they could have gotten.
Yeah.
Oh, Yankee high prospect Florial. Yeah, and they're not going to get that kind of return for him because he's already diminished. We've seen him; he hasn't stick with the Yankees. Yankees had to go get, especially when what does that tell Major League Baseball? And why would you give something valuable for an Esteban Florio when the organization that you're having conversation with just went out and traded a number 4 left-handed starter for a center fielder when you could have bought him up for cheap and what does that tell you about your own organization? Don't think much of you because they went outside the organization, gave up pitching for a injured center fielder. So Esteban Florio has no trade value, in my opinion. That's just my opinion because of those things. That harsh reality. Also, what I wanted to mention was the pitching. They want to try to get Casey. Casey? Salute, man, Casey. I haven't seen you in a while, man. I hope you're doing well, man. We're talking what team we love. Yankees. Casey also part of the watch-alongs that watch along in the chat last season and a little bit of this season as well. I hope you're doing well, my friend. It's always good to see you. Now, my point was we're trying to get cute. No, let's get a pitcher. We have team control. We want to get team control. And it's great. It's nice to get that word team control. It absolutely is great, Chris, because you get them for cheap, and I always tell you what motivates a pitcher when they want to get that bag, when they want to make that contract, they go all out. But sometimes you want to get a proven commodity of a pitcher. Maybe, I know what I'm going to get with him. You know what? I might throw a little money because I know I'm going to get. Like the way they did Cole. I mean, I know they went all out and got Cole. He was the best pitcher there available. And, that's the Yankees. We felt like, oh, man, we are back to the Yankees. And, of course, Cole, it's been good. It's been okay. It's been great. Not phenomenal, but he's been good. Cole's been good. Don't get me wrong. He's durable. He doesn't get injured. So we don't have to worry IL list. No, knock on wood. But it's that this. I don't know. They want to get cute, and I know Cashman is trying to help save the Steinbrenner family money from that luxury tax and trying to get these moves. But man, you gotta. I think everyone gets blamed here, Chris.
And Cole, what's gonna happen? And it kills me. I mean, because he might not even win the World Series, because at least this person did. But what's gonna happen is y'all giving him the same treatment y'all did CC, where you're gonna waste his prime. Luckily, CC won the chip his first year, but after that, you wasted his prime. Y'all didn't give him any help. You're doing the same thing with Cole. Don't get me wrong. I love Nestor. Nestor's good. I said this the whole year. Cole never gets injured, and Cole's are porous and everything. But Nestor was our best pitcher.
Right.
But Cole doesn't see that. Cole needs another dominant pitcher. So just like he had Verlander, he stepped up his game. You got to get Cole some help.
Yeah, they need help. And it brings us to the next point about getting Cole that help. The free agents now. There's a name, and I have a quick graphic here. We'll get to that press conference because I didn't like what I heard from the press conference. And real quick, here's the names for the upcoming free agents. And the number 2 free agent on the list is Jacob deGrom. Now, there's a lot of speculation the New York Mets might not allow him to walk or receive offers. Now, I don't know if you want to poke the bear and go after a Jacob deGrom and piss off the New York Mets. Because also you got Edwin Diaz. Two things the Yankees need. They actually, from the New York Mets, a starting pitcher and a closer. Also got, Carlos Rendon. Like you mentioned, Carlos Rendon was healthy, and he stood healthy. He had a really nice bounce back season with San Francisco Giants. And also you have, I wanted Grayson Kershaw if you want to go that route, which is now then we're saying we're putting a Band-Aid on the situation. Noah Syndergaard just feeling healthy, pitching well in the postseason. Adam Wainwright is a veteran. I don't see him coming to New York. He's another older veteran. We don't want to see that. But if we want to go youth, or we want to go get the second best, or arguably the second best pitcher in Major League Baseball, which is Jacob deGrom, and put him in 1-2 with Cole. I know everyone's saying deGrom is declining, but I don't know. I'm don't know. I'm like, yeah and no. I'm like, I don't trust this team. I don't trust the general manager, the owner, to go out and make a move that we want as fan base feel, okay, we got something here. I don't feel comfortable. I feel like they're gonna make a trade and trying to get cute and get a Musgrove or another pitcher who from the Padres. Now they're buying to get I don't know. They might get you garbage. I don't know. It just
Nah, look, I ain't gonna lie. First of all, they're not gonna get Musgrove because San Diego ain't that stupid. He's their best pitcher.
I know what I you know what I mean.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm telling you right now, Kev, and this is gonna be like the worst case scenario for me. If you let Judge go and you do not spend on what we need, yes, I might do the watch along with Kev, but I'm not gonna be happy.
You and Caputo both.
Like I'm not gonna be happy because if you're gonna let Judge leave and you got all this money coming off the books, you better get Carlos Rodon and you better get Diaz from the Mets. That's your closure, and that's the pitcher that's gonna take over for Jameson Taillon, and he's gonna be your number 2.
Casey said not to sound funny, but he'll take Darvish.
I mean, I don't mind Darvish, but for somebody like that have a competition with Cole, I don't think we need Darvish. We need like a Carlos Rodon or a Jacob deGrom. I would love Jacob, but knowing our front office, they're not gonna pay a pitcher $40 million.
No. Let me ask you this, and I know, and I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. It's a stupid question anyway. You take this team that's currently on right now, and you put a Jacob deGrom healthy. Do they get past Houston?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna lie. Like, see, and we seen this, Kevin. The only person that Houston has pitching wise is Javier. Other than that, Verlander sucks in the postseason. As you can see, he keep blowing. He almost blew the first game. So if we can, like you said, if we can get Jacob DeGrom, and then if we can't get Diaz, but then we could trade, because I heard like some people brought this up, trade Glaber for the Detroit Tigers closer Gregory Soto. I would take that because now we got our closer and we got another pitcher to help Cole. But it all depends. It all depends on, like, I have so many ideas that's going in my head. Like if Judge leave, where the money can go, who we got to trade to get more money off the books, because there's no excuse why you don't spend, because the whole free agency last year was, oh, we saving money for the shortstops. We saving money for the shortstops. We didn't get no shortstops.
Right. And
We got a third baseman to play short again.
yeah, you're right. You're right. You are on in the middle infield out of position to play the shortstop position. We absolutely. Now I'm looking back at the free agent market. Now these are the top 25 free agents, and one of the names, the number three darling free agent is Trey Turner from the Dodgers. And Xavier Bogarts will be there, and Carlos Correa. Also, another name that might not be too expensive, but could play a decent short is Dwasbury Swanson. Swanson, you remember he was a former number one draft pick for the Arizona, and now and also a World Series champion. That's a name that you could probably get for a pretty, Yankees kind of shopping at the Dollar General. And I'm not saying he's a Dollar General shortstop. I'm not. No, 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 no. He is a really good shortstop, but he's not that upper echelon shortstop. He's the next tier of shortstops. If you have tier one and tier two, I think Swanson is that tier two, not the top, but he's in that middle of the pack of shortstop. Solid player. Maybe that's something the Yankees will look for. If they're home run hitting friendly, they might want to go with a Swanson, who's just a guy who can put contact and in there mostly for glove. I can see the Yankees going that route.
Yeah. You know who, like I seen on that list, and you know who be sneaky good because he could play first and then he could DH with Stanton. I like Trey Mancini.
Yeah,
Why not? If y'all let Rizzo go, Trey Mancini ain't gonna ask for as much as Rizzo.
you could bring a Trey Mancini in that could play that role, that kind of a Matt Carpenter.
Uh huh.
If you want a platoon, if you want to go vet, and you want to go and clubhouse guy and yada yada, but then then Donaldson cannot be here. If you're gonna
No, no.
go, if you're
I'm
gonna do
expecting you
Carpenter,
trade Dobson.
right? If you're gonna go Carpenter and Mancini, they could platoon the designated first base back and forth with Stanton at times when they're depending on the matchups. Then you have to get rid of Donaldson. You could then it could work because you got two guys there. Carpenter's a hell of a guy in the clubhouse as well as Mancini. You bring those two. If you could platoon them right left combination, and you're not really gonna get hurt with those guys. Those are professional hitters there. But I don't know. But again, we got to get guys for the natural position. We can't reinvent and say we're gonna move this guy there and there and here's the problem with the New York Yankees. They want to get every position. It seems like they want every position player to be a super utility players, and that doesn't work, dude. And they're looking for Ben. They want to copycat the Royals with Ben, or the Cubs with Ben Sobris. That kind of player. They fell in love with that, and it worked. Yes, it worked for that team. It was fine, but it doesn't work for not that doesn't work for every team. They want that super utility guy that could play every position. And when we had our dynasty, everyone had their assigned positions. You knew every night when Torrey put that lineup up, you were going to get Jeter at short, you were going to get Ronil in right, Bernie in center, you were going to get you were going to get Tino at first. You knew who your position players were. Porsado or Roddy behind the plate, and the rest. You had your left fielder, from time to time, and so forth. This year, it's like hot potato. This guy's gonna play. Cabrera's gonna play right field. No, today's gonna be third. He's gonna play shortstop. And Judge will play right. And that also gives to a little bit of uncertainty to players' mindset because they also got to worry about being great defensively. Plus, they got to learn to be out there hitting the ball. and fielding. So it to me, that it's kind of cute to have one or two players. That should be your bench player, a player who could play multiple facet position and very well at, but not everyone, because I don't think it keeps everyone at. It doesn't get. It doesn't. It doesn't. To me, it's too much to compute. Remember, they got to hit a fastball close to 90 plus miles an hour and identify in 2 point something seconds if it's a curveball, breaking ball, if it's in the strike zone, not a strike zone. Then you're putting all these other responsibilities. I think they overpopulate the team.
Yeah, like I think looking at this free agency, I think we should definitely have a new backup catcher on the bench. Um, Cabrera is going to be our super utility person coming off the bench, and then I think it should be Matt Carpenter and Trey Mancini. I think that's our four bench bats right there. That's all we need.
With a
Like you
whole
said, not everybody needs to be that super. I mean, DJ's good at it too, but that's it. Don't try to be cute and try to make everybody like that, because that's not going to happen.
No, and that's what they want. They kind of want Oswaldo Peraza to be playing third, shortstop. Now maybe second base. If especially if Velope comes out. If they do go that route, it's just it's a little, to me personally, it's a little much for them. To me, I think it's a lot of pressure, much for these players to be moving gloves. Yes, it's great to be that jack of all trade, but a master of none. That's what the Yankees want, and it doesn't seem to work. Give me the platinum glove at first base. No, Rizzo. Give me a gold glove at third. Give me a gold, center fielder who's gold glove. That's it. That we know they're gonna be there night in, night out, and I think that's, we want consistency. We want that. We want to be consistent. We want to make sure we know that we're okay. We got good hands out there, and that's another thing. That's another philosophy that irks me when it comes to this Yankee thinking. They just fall in love. We're the Yankees. We set the bar, and I don't like the fact that this organization wants to play with the. They want to play around with the bar. They want to be. They want to drop down and be barred, and drop down to another level. Remember, here's a saying that I always remember. My good man, rest in peace, my first pastor said, "Eagles fly with eagles. They don't fly with ducks." And the Yankees are the pinnacle. They're considered to be eagles, to be flying top of the heap, like Frank Sinatra said. You don't fly down with the pigeons. You fly. You make them fly to your elevation. You don't elevate down to the Tampa Bay Rays level or the other bottom feeder teams. They got to do that. They got to gimmick themselves to stay competitive. You set the bar. You keep setting the bar. They're getting close to you. You go another level. And I don't know why the Yankees are not doing that, man.
Yeah, I'm like just looking at, like, everybody keep talking about our pay and stuff like that. The only why our pay is so high is not because we got superstar players. It's because Cashman keeps spending 15, 20 million on relievers that's not gonna play for us. Then you got Hicks that's making 10 million. Then you got Donaldson making 25 million. Like, that's why our payroll is so high. It ain't because we got the good players like we used to. Like, I don't understand that. Why we can't just go back to the way things were? We fill in, like I said, we fill in holes with the money and bring up some prospects, like our core, 4 or 5 prospects, and then fill the rest with money. I don't understand that. It's not that hard. Yes, we might not win every year, but at least we win sometimes. Like, I don't understand that. It's like y'all trying to be like the Moneyball people from Oakland, and you can't. That's not your mentality. Y'all the Yankees. Y'all supposed to spin.
Yes, exactly. We're the Yankees. We're not the Oakland Athletics. We're not the Tampa Bay Rays. We're not the Kansas City Royals. We're not a gimmick. I understand that, but that looks beautiful for them to win. And of course, we're sick of seeing the Rays winning baseball with smoke and mirrors. But they actually play smoke and mirrors because they play fundamentally sound. They don't strike out. They put the bat on ball. They play good defense, and they get timing pitching. But you think Kevin Cash kind of manages rear end off, and by the time playoff comes, he's exhausted. That's why they can't get past. They can't win. He's overmanaged. He manages. He's a good manager, but I mean, it's like, he's managing. He's trying to squeeze. By the time he gets to the postseason, he already squeezed the damn juice out of the damn lemon already. Enough. He got no more juice left. That's what happens with the Rays. How many World Series they won? They haven't won any. They haven't won zero. That's what you want to be. You want to imitate that team, that organization. I understand they're doing things right for their payroll because they don't got the money. They don't got the fan base to go visit them. But us, listen, I live in Central Florida. No one cares about the Rays. You got a few folks that want to because they want their Yankee haters. They like the Tampa Bay Rays, but no one goes to those parks. You want to go see a game, Tampa versus Anaheim. You'll pay $8 and you get good seats, man. I'm telling you. You'll pay more in parking than what you pay in the seats to get into the place.
Yeah, it's just I just think they either need to build a new ballpark or they need to get from there because that's not a good ballpark at all.
Absolutely, and at least to today we have a press conference, November 4th, almost more than a week before they got eliminated. We get the Cashman comes up, Boone. Before they meet the media, we don't even see the owner of the team. What kind of message does it send us, the fan base, that we're putting money, we're making you rich, we're keeping you rich and wealthy. We kept your family wealthy, your father, and so forth. The love of the team. You couldn't give us 5 minutes, 10 minutes to show at least face. Even if you didn't say nothing, I don't got no questions. I'm gonna let my guys talk, but I'm here. You're not even an act of presence. What did that tell you, Chris?
That just tells me he doesn't care about winning. Like he doesn't care about the team. He just here to collect the check. And us as fans, we need an owner that cares, man. Like that's why we love not only George, but we loved who's the other son, Hank?
Hank. God rest his soul. Yeah, Hank was another one. He cared, and they took the power away from him because he signed A-Rod. Because he was like, it's,
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. No, the problem it's because he signed A-Rod, and you wasn't gonna get some of that money. That's the problem. But
exactly.
see, what I feel like, and I know it's never gonna happen. If you don't care about baseball as much as your dad did, or even your brother, you need to sell a team. And it kills me to say that, but give it to somebody that actually cares about winning. You're not going to see that money when you're dead anyway. Just sell a team, make your money. Just let somebody else own the team.
Especially if he's not gonna play, if he's not gonna treat it like we're gonna treat it like I gotta win, like he's the one out there playing. He's not using the competitive nature. I want him. We want an owner who wants to be competitive, who despises losing. That's what his father. His father had a lot of millions, and did he do a lot of stupid moves? Absolutely. Ken Phelps. Traded for Jay Buhner. All the stupid Judge Rayback. The list is on, guys. You know the history. George Steinbrenner made a lot of stupid moves. Indeed, in the '80s, didn't have patience, and of course, but when he allowed the right people to, regardless of the fact that Major League Baseball suspended him, and they, it's a whole story there. But when they started winning, he said, "You know what? Here's the money. Get the player you want. Let's go. I want to win. I don't care. But you know what? Let's get him. David Justice, get him. Chili Davis, let's add him on. Trading deadline. Canseco was a waste of just to block him from another team. I'll pay the money. I don't care. Go get Roger Clemens. He didn't care. Play that. Open up the checkbook. Get him. Let's go. Get him here. Let's do this. And that's what, because he hated to lose. He was saying, we don't win the World Series, it's a failure. And he wanted to win. He did not want to lose. And of course, and he allowed Stick Michaels to build the Yankee organization. And then he said, you know what, let's add more money. You know what, Stick, and Stick was gone, Watson and so forth. They kept adding more money. They wanted, Wade Barnes was getting old and he wasn't defensively shored up. They got Charlie Hayes. They brought Charlie Hayes in here. They added more money to the player. Ruben Sierra was gone for Cecil Fielder. This is what is missing by the New York Yankees. That's an owner who actually cares, who wants to win. And when he loses, you should see Steinbrenner get pissed, upset. And Hank, Hal, yeah, my guys did a good job. They did a good job. My manager did a good job. And that's the problem.
Yeah, like He doesn't want to hold anybody accountable. And the problem is, dude, you know why we boo you? Because you don't care. So why should we care about your feelings? Like I don't understand that. Like okay, you see Cash and Boone not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You either gotta give them an ultimatum or you gotta let them go.
And I agree with you on that. Let's bring Mikey in for a moment. Mikey's going to join us for a second. Hi, Mikey.
What's
Ooh, a
up,
rainy,
Mike?
a rainy day in Seattle. Mikey for the 4 Train Express joining us here on this quick podcast here of the Bronx Bombers Right Back. As you're on the muted situation when as soon as you're able to speak. Hector, let me send Hector an invite. Maybe Hector will join us. Let me send Hector. I'll
Nope.
send Hector a quick one. Mikey's out. So quickly, talk to me about this year with the manager. I want to talk about Boone. Let me as I send Hector the invite in for a moment. And what's your thoughts on Aaron Boone? Me personally, I'm gonna give you my thoughts real quick on Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone is a great guy in having a clubhouse, motivator with the Eagles, get everyone playing. The right guy for the media, won't throw his guys under the bus. He takes all the slings and arrows, excellent. But when it comes to X's and O's and strategic baseball, to me, he is not. He is not a good manager. The moves in the bullpen, he does not know how to manage a bullpen. I think he runs too quick to yank the starting pitcher, especially when the Yankee strength this season was the starting pitching. I don't think he manages to my liking as a manager that as Mikey keeps having some difficulties. So me personally, I am not a big fan of him as a manager with the X's and O's. The other stuff, face of baseball, being cool when he has to get his players back with the umpires, he's phenomenal. But other than that, Chris, what's your thoughts on him?
I'll I'll say this. I think what hurts Boone the most too is his boss, is Cashman. He can't manage, and what makes it even worse, he, like you say, he looks like a buffoon because I guess in his head he's like, man, if I screw this up, I might lose my job because I'm not listening to them. But he needs to understand you are Aaron Boone. Your family knows baseball, bruh. The moves that you're making is not baseball moves. Like
Hmm.
you have to understand the atmosphere of what's going on in the game. Oh, I don't understand hot, cold. If they hot, I'm gonna bench them the next day. That makes no sense. The clothes and stuff, like you said, you too early to do that. Like you gotta let them pitch, especially if they're young. Because if you keep yanking them, they're not gonna develop the way you want them to develop. It's cute. It's cute that you win 90 some games. Woohoo! We could do that with anybody because we have the talent.
Let's bring Yankee Morning Brews
Oh, I
owner.
can't hear you guys. Hold on.
Let's bring Hector's in. Hector will be going us. We have a little bit of technical difficulties here.
It's like we're playing hot potato.
Yeah, we'll play hot potato with Mikey Mazda and Yankee Morning Brew. Hector will be on. Let's bring him in. The one and only Hector from Yankee Morning Brew. What is going on, Mr. Hector?
What is good, Cad? Salute, brother. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, loud and clear, brother.
What's good? Hope all is well, Kev. I miss you, my guy.
Yes, indeed. We're doing a little Yankee recap. We're talking about it. We didn't get to the press conference just yet. We're just unleashing on the manager Boone. Um,
Mm.
we don't like his style. I personally don't like his style of baseball managing of X's and O's. But all the other
hmm
stuff with the handling of the press and the ball players, he does a good job. I'm gonna give him credit because when a guy wins over a 90 plus game the years he's been here, he's doing something right. I got to give him
hmm
flowers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was,
yeah. I agree with you. I agree
I
with
was
you. Like,
telling
like, like you said, he. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead, brother.
no, I was telling him like he can't manage the way he manages because of Brian Cashman. That doesn't help him at all.
hmm
So I just feel like something like we all can agree on this. Something needs to change.
I 100% agree. And when you look at Aaron Boone, he's averaging anywhere from like 96 to 97 wins as a manager with the Yankees in every season, minus the COVID season because it was a shortened season, right? But when it comes to Aaron Boone, and when it comes to just managing just in Major League Baseball in general, you have to have somebody, especially in this day and age, who's able to dissect and navigate through statistics and analytics, right? You can have all the analytics in the world. You can have them out the wazoo. But if you don't have anybody who can properly interpret it and properly give the information to the players, then you have nobody. Because look at Rob Thompson and Philadelphia. They use analytics. It's just Rob Thompson is the manager who can interpret it and get the best out of the players. Same thing with Dusty Baker in Houston. Mikey Mazza, what's good, baby?
What is good? How is everybody?
Doing well, baby.
That's good. I am wet out here.
Of course, you're in Seattle. It's always raining in Washington.
It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop raining. So, I know that you guys were talking about the managing style and everything, but there's nothing we can do about Boone coming back. There's nothing we can do about that. We have to, but as Yankee fans, we have to understand that the reason why he does what he does is because he answers to Cashman, and he answers to the Steinbrenner. So the Steinbrenners are the ones saying, hey, you need to do it like this, and that's the only way to do it. And it's also listening to the analytics department who's in Steinbrenner's ear. So that's the problem. So with that being said, Boone is not going to go ahead and say, no, I don't think we should do it like this, but we'll do it the way you want because this is how it's got to get done. That's just how it is, unfortunately. And with Boone coming back, it's not going to change. And we can't sit here and say, oh, but we should have gotten Buck Showalter or Dusty Baker or Bruce Bochy. None of them would have done that. We know that. None of them would have sat there and said no to come here and said yes to Hal and the analytics department. None of them would have done that. That's not. We got to be realistic there. And the realism of it is that's how it's going to be, and it's not going to change because Hal doesn't want to change, and it's got to start with Hal. But Hal will never change.
Let me ask you this: with all the analytics, the data that they apply and all, why haven't we used the analytics to get the next prospects, especially over international? You know, we haven't seen like, oh my God, you can't wait to see the turn so Joe Jablonski because the analytics say his numbers and swing looks phenomenal. And right now, all our prospects, all they do is rot like a piece of fruit. They get right, and then they just stay in the minor leagues and they get rot. Where's the analytics department there? Why isn't Hank or Hal and company not holding anyone to the fire on that?
Because when it comes to that, the analytics department, when it comes to the prospects, has no say. The analytics department is told, well, we'll see how he is in the next 3 years. And if he's good, then we'll bring him up. And then we'll do the whole cycle of, we'll bring him up, he'll play good, we'll send him down. We'll bring him back up, play good, send him down, then his career goes to shit.
Isn't that a money play because they don't want to start his free agency clock? That's not really a talent. That's not a talent. That's a financial situation. Don't you think?
That's why they do it, because they want to keep them under contract as long as they can so that when they do get to their prime, they've had maybe 3 good years. Not what everyone was expecting them to have, because they let them rot in the minors and they don't allow them to play in the majors. Yeah. And that's the reason why they do that.
If I can just interject something real quick. When you look at the Yankees front office, Kev, Mazza, and Chris, Brian Cashman has been with the organization since 1986, right? And Jim, when you look at his assistant general manager, Gene Afterman, she's been with the organization since 2001. Michael Fishman has been with the organization since 2005. Tim Naring, who is in charge of baseball operations, he's been with the organization since 2007. Damon Optemeyer, who you guys remember his name from the Yes Network, he's been with the team since 2001. And Kevin Reese, who's in charge of player development has been with the team since 2007. Now, since Kevin Reese has taken over from player development, this goes to your last question, Kev. Since Kevin Reese has taken over since 2007, how many All-Stars has he produced as being in charge of player development? You got Aaron Judge, Gary Sanchez, Luis Severino, and that's it. 3 players since 2007 that have been under Kevin Reese's player development that's become All-Stars. And I think that's a big issue with this thing.
I agree.
They don't produce enough All-Stars.
And then if you take it a step further, I'm up for it, Maz. If you take it a step further, and if you look past this Yankee team for these past 20 years, how many All-Stars has come up through the minor league system under Brian Cashman? If you want to say Alfonso Soriano, who I say was just an international, he played in Japan, then the Yankees got him, you could count him. But besides that, Robinson Cano, Brett Gardner for that 1 year, and then the 3 that I just mentioned. Besides that, no one else.
Nothing. That's a problem.
All the hype with Jabba Chamberlain and Phil Hughes, they were never even All-Stars.
Was David Robinson?
They messed over Jabba.
David Robinson was an All-Star 1 year.
Ian Kennedy.
Another
But
one.
Ian Kennedy, he won a Cy Young, and his best days was with other teams besides
Another
Ian
team.
Kennedy.
Yeah.
Was his best years.
And look, and Hector, I was saying this too. Like, ever since Cashman been with us, look how many pitchers that should have been with the Yankees that's never put the pinstripes on. Like Cliff Lee. Cliff Lee should have been with the Yankees. That never happened.
Here's a little interesting fact to Chris's point. You know, we had Fred McGriff at one point and traded him.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Oh wait, Dre back. That's that's before Stick Michaels took over, and they kind of suspended Steinbrenner for a few times, and then they held this prospect. That's what I'm saying. The Steinbrenner George made mistakes as well, but he did it because he loved the damn. He wanted to win. He was so blinded on winning, he would trade impulsively because he just wanted to put a winner. No, it's not like it's not like we're going on now. They're not being impulsive to win. They're just being impulsive to save money.
Yep. Hey, I'm gonna get that one later. I gotta run.
All right, Mazza. Later, baby. Later, baby.
Thank you.
Let's take it a step back. Look at 2002 to 2003. Instead of trading for a starting pitcher like Jason Smith, who was with the Giants and who had some moniker of success, he decided to trade for Jeff Weaver, who was an absolute bust with the Yankees. Absolutely. You know, 2003, after 2003, going into the 2004 offseason, he decided to, you know what, we're going to let Roger Clemens and Andy Pettit walk away so we can sign Kevin Brown and trade for Javi Vasquez. And then, you know what, we're going to wait to the next offseason to sign Jared Wright and Carl Pavano. All 4 moves were horrible.
Horrible moves.
And that's crazy because, you know, I was telling Kev that, like, I'm like, Cashman doesn't trade for the pitchers we need, but he wants to trade for a Sonny Gray, a Carl Pavano, Michael Pineda, James Paxton. Like, you got to trade for the pitchers we need. You don't do that.
Yeah.
I know you heard me earlier. One thing that I still keep too hard that bothers me was Scherzer. When he left Detroit, he wanted the Yankees, and they didn't even give him an offer. They didn't even offer.
Is that you know what's funny about the Scherzer situation? That was the second time we almost got Max Scherzer when he was a free agent. When that original trade happened, we were supposed to get Max Scherzer and Curtis Granderson. But they didn't want to have Eduardo Nunez, and I forgot the other prospects. They didn't want to let go in that trade, in that massive trade, which was another stupid move. Imagine if we would have got Max Scherzer and Curtis Granderson, Max Scherzer in his prime. Come on.
Yeah, of course. He wanted to be here. He wanted to pitch for the Yankees. That's the thing.
Yo, Kev, but I gotta dip out. I just wanted to come show face.
Thanks for coming in,
my guy.
Same here, man.
Appreciate you, Cat. Chris, my man, Pots and Pans. One of these mornings, you know, I know you're working, but you got to be able to figure your way either the Knicks morning brew or the Yankees morning brew. Just let me know, Kev.
You got it. Absolutely.
Later, my guy.
All right.
Oh wait, I want to show you something. Hold on, wait. I want to show you something. Wait. Hold on.
He's gonna give us a little quick show here. That Knicks morning brew, Yankee morning brew, Hector HQ joining us here.
Oh, I got it right here. Hold on. So the Knights of Dejan, we just launched our home beer,
Oh, the
baby.
beer. Yes, I saw the
Oh,
beer.
okay.
Legion Haze. Look at that. Look at
Yes, yes, yes. So
that.
if you're in New York City, you're able to purchase these beers at the Gramercy Ale House, which is on 23rd Street and 3rd Avenue in New York City.
Look at that. Nice.
Yes,
Nice.
sir.
Nice indeed. You guys are doing great things over there. Absolutely.
All right, my guy. I love you, Kev. I'll holler
All
at
the
you.
time, man. Talk to you later, man. That's
Later.
HQ. Yankee Morning Brew. Knicks Morning Brew. Hector joining us. And I've got about another few more minutes before we wrap up. We got a lot of ranting here to go here.
Yeah.
We got a lot of ranting because personally, Cashman. Let me tell you something. Cashman. They asked him the question. His contract expired. He does not have a contract. He. It wouldn't surprise me, Chris. I'm gonna make a quick bold statement. I know. Oh, it seems like everyone's coming back. If the Yankee fans have a major uproar currently right now, like if not just us, but other people, they start getting and people saying they're not going to renew their season ticket or they're just upset with the Yankees. It wouldn't surprise me that these two guys will get canned next week. Be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised we're making another podcast here saying who will be the next general manager and Yankee manager, because this conference today was just end of a season, to talk about losing and getting swept by the Astros. And they talk a little bit about the things about about next season of coming up because Cashman said he's going to pick up Severino's contract. But wait a minute, you don't have a contract. You're not really the Yankee general manager. You're a free agent, buddy. He's talking with a lot. And not seeing how there. I don't know, man. I have a funny feeling that 10 days from now or less than that, after this World Series concludes, we're going to be having a press conference with new GM and manager. It's just me. I'm going on a limb. I should have said that when the guys were here, man. I just didn't want to interrupt and take away from the flow of the topic that we were on.
Yeah, because I was about to say something too about the whole like Judge leaving and everything, but um, be honest with you, like I just think we need a change. And I know certain people's like, oh, the grass ain't greener on the other side, but Cashman, yeah, see, that's what everybody wants. And if he can pull that off, if he can make Derek Jeter and let Derek Jeter hire his people, we just need something new. And I guarantee that as a fan base, yeah, we might get mad because we don't win the first or the second year. But I'll say this. I give Jeter as much credit as I can for the Marlins. If they was willing to spend like they were supposed to, like they promised to, that team would have been something. But they didn't do that. So
I
now,
think. Yeah, go ahead, sorry, Chris.
I'm about to say, now if he joins the Yankees where they have the money, I'm telling you, I can see Jeter doing stuff. And yeah, like I understand Cashman brought us championships, but see, people don't realize that dynasty that we had. I might have been still young, but I'm not stupid. He wasn't the architect to make those teams. It was another person. So I don't know. I just think it's time for a change. Cashman needs to go.
I think look, it would invigorate the fan base. You get
Yeah,
you bring in a breath of fresh air in the front office and the general manager. Maybe some new scouts to see something different because because again, we just finished talking about all these players we bought up. When they haven't hit anything on these players they bought up. They develop and they haven't done it. At least the Marlins, you see them when the players that they bring up from the internationals, the Lopez, the Paul Lopez, and so forth. They've been developing them. They got something going right. Jeter knows. The Marlins were in good hands. They are things they just can't draw money. They can't draw people to that stadium. They don't have that influx of cash. And I don't think even if if you say Dan's tell me tomorrow, general manager Derek Jeter is going to change things, I still think the Yankees will compete and win. They might not be World Series. Who knows? Maybe he might say, you know what? I don't want to go with the home run hitter. Maybe he has some players that he That might be the Jeter type of mold that he sees. You know, beauty isn't the eye of the beholder. Maybe he has an eye for talent, for a hitter, a breakout hitter that the Yankees need. And also, guys, remember next season. I want to make this a big talking point. Next season, there is no more shift. Now, I'm thinking now you go after some heavy left. Remember, Yankees been too much right-handed dominant, and I think it belong. I have to say, I think it's because of that stupid shift. You know, they too many. You know, you could just crowd up the whole right side, and the right-handed hitter's gonna pull in. They're gonna, you know, they're gonna get themselves out with the shift. I think the Yankees are gonna get more left-handed heavy back to the Yankees left-handed hitting, and I think that's gonna help them too. But they need left-handed hitters, not left-hand swing and miss machines. They need hitters, contact hitters. You know, I personally, it's just so many complex. I mean, I know I'm jumping a little bit all over the place, but it's just I just don't want to stay too long, you know, because there's so much information, so much that I want to bottle and just speak out that it's just it's like my goodness, it's frustration.
Yeah, it just it makes us, want to rant and get mad, and I mean, especially like me and you, like we love this team, and we try not to be negative and stuff like that, but something just needs to change. I'm tired of looking at the same stuff,
Yeah,
like over and over and over again. Like you're wasting people's primes. Like this is CC all over again, and I feel bad for Cole because Cole came here to win. He didn't come here to be like, oh yeah, let's keep getting knocked out of the playoffs. Like I just don't understand it. Like we have to do something different because if things don't change, it might be another 10 more years that we don't win.
and that's what a lot of people are fearful, especially Michael Caputo. You know, Michael Caputo. Shout out to Michael Caputo. You know, I know we goof him around, and he gets all ranted, he gets passionate, but we're not at his level of anger, but we feel his pain, we feel his frustration, and but now is the time to be in those rants and frustration. Not while the season is going, where there's still hope of breaking that stigma. But that's for another day. But I'm just saying, I understand. Dude, we understand how upset you are and how you feel. You know, and we get it now. We're at that level with you. We're bothered. How much more we're gonna wait? 2009 it's getting long in the tooth now from winning a World Series, especially when you see other organizations doing it and winning and back at the World Series again, even though they don't win it, but they're back at it. You know, and we should be we should be setting the bar, not the bar being set for us to try to reach. We're supposed to be above and beyond, better than what we are, and we're not seeing doing the right situation. And I think it's the time for. But all in all, we need a new direction, a new philosophy in the front office. You know, and another direction. And unfortunately, when you change a general manager, the manager's got to go. You know, and of course, Boone again. He's been successful, but I don't know if that's a Derek Jeter type of manager. Maybe it is. Maybe Jeter, if it is Jeter, the GM, assuming, maybe he might say, you know what, I could deal with it, because remember, Mattingly wasn't supposed to be a great manager, and he inherited Mattingly. So maybe there is something there. Like I said, beauty is behind the beholder. If he is tapped to be the general manager of the New York Yankees, but I don't know. I have a feeling Cashman might be gone. I don't know. It seemed, I think they just went through this formality because he, no how there, because maybe he, and now he's going to get peppered with a lot of questions, a lot of criticism, why he wasn't there. How could you do this? And then when he starts seeing the people want to revoke their season tickets or cancel the MLB package or not wanting to buy stuff with the Yankees, why should I, when they start telling me, why should I invest, my time to watch this product that's going to end up in the same result? And if Judge leaves, my God, it's going to get even worse. I think the Yankee fan here has voice, and I think they're going to get loud, and I think it's going to react. I think Hal is keep calling Hank. Hal is going to react to the fan base, in my opinion.
Something needs to be done. I think like if we do another stream, it should be like after the World Series and talk about like the free agency and stuff like that to see, who would be perfect for this team. But for right now, I mean, the only thing we can speculate, hopefully, as a fan base, that Hal actually hears us, and that's why he's been MIA. Like, dude, you you got to change something, bro,
Yeah.
because you want to say, oh yeah, I'm about winning and stuff like that. Well, you need to stop talking and you need to start doing actions because you bring the same stuff all over again. You're not about winning. You're just about money, and you
And we
make
are
enough.
and we are winning. I know Craig Casey said someone here said if we're going to make the playoffs and we're going to 90 plus. I think Michael said 87. I know I was around 94, 95 wins, 94 wins. I didn't think they were, I thought they were going to be second wild card at, second in the division, first wild card, second wild card, the second team out of the American League East. I just thought, Toronto was going to win, and I was totally wrong. What a mistake that was. But I think right now this organization is okay with that because they think, we'll dangle. I feel like them owners like we dangle a carrot thinking they're going to win a World Series because they'll come out. They'll come out. They'll eat at the New York Steakhouse here, the Hard Rock in the stadium. People will come out, but and then we'll I think that's at least that's what we feel. Like you're dangling, we're the horses that you're dangling that carrot for us to try to fight and grasp for your season, and we know he's going to come up a little empty, and we're getting, and I think the fan base is already fed up with it. They're tired of it. They're fed up. They want a winner. They want to go the whole distance, and it starts, this winter with Judge. Get Judge, and I'm not telling you to give him 500 million. Not no. We're not telling you to give him 500 million, but give him a competitive, not 218 million. The man that you should have went 300 million, and this would have been over. 300 for 10 years, and that would have been over this summer. This whole April, not the 218. Give him the 300 million for 10 years. That would have been then it would have been done. Then he would turn it down. We offered 300 million, and he said no. I mean, 218. I thought that was an insult, dude.
Yeah.
Even
Well,
though it was competitive, but it was still to a little insult.
I want to say this too, and Doug, I'm hoping you get paid, bro. But you also got to be realistic too. Like your season was good, but your postseason sucked, and you need to realize if the Yankees do say like you was destined to get 480, I mean 380 for 10, that's gonna probably drop down to like 340, and you got to understand that. And if some other team want to give you more, I can't blame the Yankees then because that's
Yeah.
a whole lot of money. 340,
Yeah.
that's a big jump from what they gave you. So to be honest with you, and then that lets me know that you don't care about winning, you just care about the money.
Right.
And see, that's what Cashman wants us to think too. We did this, and see, Cashman should have never did that. He should have kept it private, and that's why I can't blame Judge for leaving too, because he's a private person like Jeter, and for you to do that and try to make us go against him, I don't blame him for leaving if he leaves, because you took his trust and you just threw it out the window because he didn't sign you the full contract you gave him. But
Right. Right.
oh, I was about to say, like you said, all this could have been avoided with the 10-year 300. No, this could have been avoided like 5 years ago. I'm just gonna say that. Like,
And I know you said a 31-year for 10-year deal. I mean, look, they gave that to Robinson. They gave Robinson Cano a deal like that. They done moves, and I know just because you did it before and it was a dumb move, you're not going to do it again. History will repeat itself. But if you're telling me he's your face of your franchise, you're going to make that money in merchandise. You saw what he did here, Casey. The way he did with the 62 chase and all that. If you could have given him an ABA. 8 years, yeah, 350 for 8 years. That's exactly what he deserves. He deserves 8 years. He deserves 8 years. To give him until he's 39 years old. Definitely, you could make it where you could front load it up front for the first 6 years. You want to put an opt out, you could, and then 8 years. And by the time the contract is all completely 350, and then when his latter ages, he makes lower money. And it doesn't seem too much of an arbitrage, but. You got it. He's your face. He's your homegrown face of your franchise. Your kid that come up here. You got a whole section of the whole stadium named after him, dude. There's marketability in Aaron Judge, dude. He fits the bit. So I don't think he's going anywhere, guys. I think he's going to be hardball. But I would love personally, Chris. I would love them to get this deal done immediately. Not wait until spring. Not January. Not immediately as soon as they can. Give me, you know what? I want to. When I sit down to see the Giants beat the crap out of the Cowboys with my Thanksgiving dinner, I want to be thankful that Judge signed the contract already.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want Judge leaving. And see, people have this perception about these long deals like Albert Pujols and stuff like that. But you have to realize this: if we sign Judge to an $8 to $10 million deal, but say we get two World Series out of it, but 4 World Series appearances, we ain't gonna complain because then we're gonna be like, well, that was a good deal. That's all we wanted was the win.
Right.
So I don't look at contracts. Oh, the back end. You got to look at it this way. What did you do in the front of the contract? If we won World Series championships, it's not a bad deal because that's the whole point of re-signing them to that big deal in the first place, so we can win. But
Let me go ahead.
that's what's going on with the whole Cole thing. Everybody's complaining about Cole, but see, Cole can't do everything. He can't pitch every single day. That's not how that works. He's a pitcher. So I don't know. I hope Judge come back, but just because you sign Judge, that doesn't mean you stop from signing other players. Don't say, "Oh, we signed Judge. We don't have the money for it." That's BS. You could trade Hicks and Donaldson. That's more money coming off the books. Chapman and Britton ain't coming back. Like if Britton does come back, it's gonna be on a cheaper deal, but it ain't gonna be no $15 million deal. So I don't want to hear all this money like that. And then the next year after, I think it was another 40 to 50 million coming off the books. So you gotta stop using this thing. Oh man, we broke. We like the Oakland A's. We like Tampa. No, you're not. Y'all have to sign good players to go with the prospects. I don't understand that. See, if it was me, I would sign either Jacob deGrom or Carlos Rodon, and then get the closer Diaz. And then, if you want to put the cherry on top, you can sign Trey Turner. You have the money.
Yeah, I think the New York Yankees get him for $46 million a year for 7 years. That's going to be 330, 325 around there with incentives. 325 million gets it for 7 years. But I hope he'll get a high AVA, 46 million, and they'll be fine. I think personally that's the number that the Yankees will end up with Judge. Personally, you give him that. He's looking for that one more year. You know how they are. They want to go that 7 or the 8th year. I don't know if the Yankees will go 8. But I think they'll go 7. That's the number I will go. So every 7 years at 46 per, that's 322. And then you could put some incentives or whatever, kicker if he wants to, or opt-out clause, whatever he wants. Give an opt-out clause, you can as well. You already got, I don't know if they'll give him a no trade because you got Stanton in there with a no trade, but Stanton's going to be off the books shortly in a couple more years. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes with them with Judge. But like you said, here's another thing. I want to be devil's advocate though. With Judge here with the New York Yankees, we have not won anything. We lose in the playoffs with him. So imagine, we have lost without him. I don't know. We could, do we move on from him? I don't know what's their mindset. I hope not. Personally, I don't want to experiment life without Aaron Judge personally because he's just a big bopper. Not only that, he makes the Yankees relevant. The must see. Yankees always moan about Broadway, the show, the big bad Yankees. We, marketable. We want to see them on ESPN. We want to see them on Sunday Night Baseball. We want to, game of the week, whatever. The Yankees, Aaron Judge of the Yankees. Who do you think is going to, play Torres in the Yankees? I don't think so, brother. There is no other. Judge leaves. Who is their bona fide? Giancarlo Stanton, but he gets hurt. So that's why I don't think he's going anywhere, guys. Long story short with that one with Judge. Now Rizzo is going to opt out here, but he says he wants to stay with the New York Yankees, remain. He just wants a longer term deal. They're looking at the crop of free agents for the first baseman. I'm not too much impressed with the free agent first baseman. Like you said, you like Trey Mancini, who could play outfield and first base. That's a name out there. Please don't bring me Jose Abreu. I do not want Jose Abreu. He is not a good glove. You're bringing another Luke Voigt, if you ask me, at first base. You know how many runs Rizzo have saved there at first base? I see what I want with Rizzo and try to negotiate as well.
he either trade or Rico. I don't want to trade too because the trade not the vision. And he got oh, one, oh, that's another thing.
You sound far away, Chris. Your audio is bad.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So what I was saying was, I think we need to get a little bit younger. I mean, we got a bunch of old people on our team too. I mean, you got Donaldson in the mid 30s, you got Rizzo in the mid 30s, you got DJ in the mid 30s, you got Chapman, you got Britton, um, Aaron Judge is about to be 31, Stanton is what 33.
Yeah.
Like we have too many old players, and that's why I want to bring certain people in this team or the prospects because we do need to get younger. And I like Rizzo, but Rizzo needed to get through his head too. Like you're old, so don't expect to get 25, 30 million because yes, you did perform good, but then you also getting hurt too.
He's got a back issue. But I
Yeah,
think, all in all, I think they'll get something done reasonable price for where he just wants extra years on his contract, a few extra more years. I think they'll get him around that number, maybe a couple $1 million increase, but he'll get it. I think that gets resolved there. Mostly, you got Austin Wells coming up in the pipeline, down in the minors and so forth. To see how they will bring him up when ready, and so forth. But I think that's another name there. I know Chapman will not be back with the Yankees. I know for that for sure. That's $19 million off the books there yearly, for 18, for Aroldis Chapman there. Um, we shall see there. Personally, my personal darling after Aaron Judge resigns with the New York Yankees, you need to get, if you're not going to go with Volpe at your shortstop position, personally I would like, actually, I'm going to be greedy. To be honest with you. I don't think Jacob DeGrom is a reasonable. I think he resigns with the Mets. I think the Mets give him, although Met fans don't want him back, which it's like, ooh, it's the same thing with some of there's some Met fans that want him, then some Met fans that don't. It's like the Judge thing. Some Yankee fans that don't. But all in all, I think both of those players stay with their respective team. Personally, I would love to get Noah Syndergaard. I always tell you that. I told you that Noah Syndergaard will be a good fit for the Yankees. Won't cost too much money, and you give me Swanson at shortstop. If these kids, if Volpe ain't ready to come up, or Brazo, if you want to package them to a trade, where you're going to bring one of the shortstops along with Donaldson to get them out of here, and bring some get yourself a third baseman. The Yankees need a third baseman as well. They need the third baseman of the future. I don't know if he's in the minors or whatever the case is. It's just enough with the Donaldson experiment. I'm just over it. I know we got Jason Dominguez coming up. Won't be surprised if he makes a big impact next in August. I'm going on a limb. I think Jason Dominguez is going to make a big splash for the Yankees. He's going to force himself to be playing on this team in the dog days of August, in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, if you believe that they're coming back and then you find stuff like that, I just think we do need to build the team. So, if we can't get Turner as our shortstop, I mean, I don't mind. Swanson. I mean, he won. I mean, with the Braves, and I heard he's a good glove. So, I mean, and then if you got to bring up Hope and stuff like that, you can probably move Swanson to third.
You could see, yeah, you could probably move Swanson Turk. I'm gonna put the names back up here because the reason why I say Swanson, because I don't think they're gonna have the money for Trey Turner. I think that's too much money. Bogarts now. Here's an interesting name with Xander Bogarts. I know he's a Red Sox and so forth, this and that. But if let's say, for instance, they do take away the general manager, and let's say it is Derek Jeter. I can see Jeter going after Bogarts because he idolized Jeter and all that other stuff. And will he take a team friendly deal to come to the Yankees? I believe if he's the GM, I can see Xavier Bogarts at the shortstop for the New York Yankees. Just for you could sign him on a short term deal, especially if you want to still keep the prospect hugging with the shortstops, and eventually move Bogarts. That could see that happening as well. But that's a lot of moving pieces, guys. That's a lot of moving pieces. That's just what if. That's just if staying away is staying at course, where everyone's coming back and all. I don't see Yankees just signing Judge to be the big acquisition. Maybe they might sign one pitcher. Maybe they'll try to re-sign Jameson, Tyone, back. They might give him a re-sign. I'm gonna see if any other. I don't think there's no other. Maybe Benintendi might come back, but they do need another starting pitcher. I don't see no one here to rag home about just Carlos Rendon, and I don't think they'll go spending money on Rendon. They'll try to get cute and move some players, some prospects together. A team that's a pitcher who's team friendly or under control. I don't know if I don't think they'll. I don't know if they go back with the Marlins to a conversation again because for Lopez or anyone or Sanchez or anyone of those, due to the fact that new hope for the Marlins new season. Why would they want to get rid of their pitching if they're gonna have a new season? Keep utilizing them. You never know. You know, you got the starting pitching. I don't see them trading with the Marlins for any of those pitchers personally. And I don't know. It's just me, and I don't know who's going to close. That worries me. Who the hell the Yankees are going to pay to close? They need a closer, unless they want to say Severino's a closer. But I doubt you don't want to be a closer.
I think like,
You sound far away again, Chris.
I don't know why. I mean, I got the phone right next to me. So if I had to choose a closer, yeah, this is where I predict. We're either going to sign Diaz from the Mets, or they're going to trade for Pittsburgh's closer, David Bednar. I just have this feeling. I think they're going to trade Gleyber to go over there.
That's another name, Gleyber Torres. I mean, that's a name. He played a pretty okay season. Wasn't nothing to write home about. But then I don't know. It's so many. There's so many names that you want to remove, not keep. But Gleyber's young. He's still a young player, and see on this team control. I don't see. I mean, he could get you something with value, but I don't know. A lot of people want like to see him go. I'm 50-50.
I think the only why I want him to go is because we got too many infielders. I mean, we got DJ, then we got Cabrera, Peraza, then Volpe coming up. And then you got IKF. Somebody's gonna go. But I think get them on paper. I can see them like Gleyber.
Yeah, you're far away. Blue City. Frankie Montas will be back with the Yankees. He has one more year left before he's a free agent. So Montas will be back with the New York Yankees. He'll, I'm gonna give him a little bit of a mulligan. This for Frankie Montas here. He wasn't the greatest here with the Yankees, due to the fact he had a little bit of a shoulder issue when he first got back here with the when he got traded, and going into New York, learning the pitch, learning the catchers, learning how to pitch, and learning the routine of New York, and he was injured again a little bit. So next year he's going to have the whole season off. They're going to give him a Yankee workout plan with Matt Blake, who's also a free agent, by the way. He's not signed. They ask him if Matt Blake will be returning to the Yankees. They want to bring him back to the Yankees. So that's why a lot of things are uncertain. If Matt Blake does return as the Yankees pitching coach, it will work with Montas will be phenomenal, because Montas will be a free agent. You know what I say? Guys that go into free agency year have a breakout season. They go over their career highs, and I think Frankie Montas will be much greater than what we saw. Doing well, Brandon. And Maria is in the building. Hello, Maria. We were worried about you. We're like, Maria's not around, but I know you probably were working, and you probably were at Wendy's too, getting a $5 biggie bag.
There's so much things we have to do before we start talking about something.
Chris, you sound far again. As Chris is having a little bit of audio difficulties here. And of course, we've got another 5-10 minutes, and then we'll be calling. We've been on for over an hour and 45 minutes. I told you it was going to be, we're going to get so involved with the Yankee talk. It was going to be a kind of a little bit of a minor marathon here. But we rarely do the podcast because when we come, we want to give you substance. We don't come on, so we want to give you some substance.
Yeah, I think
yeah, you sound far away still. But I'm gonna give you Boone for a minute. Let me give.
How did you leave things personally with him after Game 4? Did it feel like a?
Let me give you Boone.
Yeah, I hope not. Look, we had nice conversation in my office at the end of the night. I think most of you know how I feel about him. You know how much appreciation I have for our relationship and how it's grown over the years. So, I mean, all I'll say is that, of course, I hope he's back and a Yankee for forever. And I can't think of a better guy to, that you'd want to be leading your team and leading your organization, and hopefully that all works out. And but my conversations with him now are just communicating them with him through the winter, and hoping that it works out. But obviously that's above me, and that's got to happen over time here.
All right, so that's the first one. Talking about Judge, so he's hoping he gets a Christmas card, Judge, for Christmas.
Yeah.
God. Another question. Hold on, let me get this other question in here. Hold on, let me get. This is them asking him about if he thinks he's going to win, about how far from winning a World Series.
Bottom line is, we're a really good team. We've been knocking on that door now for a long time. We haven't punched through. I certainly understand the frustration of that with everyone. We all feel that as much as everyone. Like, that's why I came back to do this. I want to hoist that trophy with these guys. And the reality is we are close. And we have a team that, is in that conversation. Realistically in that conversation. There's a lot of things that play out over the course of the year. We're missing, obviously, some key people at a key time of the year. But there's always going to be turnover on the roster that force you to go in a different direction. Bottom line is, we're a really good team. We've been knocking on that door now for a long time. We haven't punched through. I certainly understand the frustration of that with everyone. We all feel that as much as everyone. Like, that's why I came back to do this. I want to hoist that trophy with these guys.
All right, that's crazy. As he re-looped it again. My God. This is the one that killed me. Hold on, here we go. Let me go back here. Reporter, they're going to ask him, what do you think of Buffoon's job?
Boone did this year. Good. I mean, I think he did a great job. I mean, going into, again, I think, like I talked about the attributes of Matt Blake, I think he's got, a great demeanor, a great rapport with his players. And when we were firing on all cylinders and healthy, we were tough to beat. It was fun to watch. And then, along the way, at the worst time possible, August and September, all of a sudden a lot of wheels started falling off with injuries. So timing's everything, and so that kind of changed the equation. And ultimately, we didn't get as far as we hoped we could with the entire crew we wanted. But he never wavered and his staff never wavered in terms of, we can still figure this out, and and we'll find a way. And and that came with challenges as we entered postseason, as I talked to before. But he clearly, it's like, I would say that we all recognize that there's still, no matter where you are, because injuries happen with all clubs, we had an opportunity to do something, and so we tried to do the best we could with the opportunity in front of us. We were unable to get through it, but we weren't afraid of the challenge, and we appreciate always being in a position to be there, and so we're going to get back at it. And, I think Booney does a great job, and in conjunction with the staff he has, of trying to put our players in the best position to succeed and have belief in what they do. But unfortunately, in that last series with Houston, it didn't. Our dreams ended for 22, and not the way it rather abruptly and quickly, and it sucked. For us all, and for our fans and ownership, the worst of all.
And that's Boone, Aaron Boone, the general manager of the New York Yankees, early in the press conference there. Well, he acknowledged that they sucked.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, that was a good analysis to say. We already knew that.
no crap, Captain Obvious.
Oh, we just stuck. We got embarrassed.
That was a tough one. That was a tough one. That was a tough. That was a tough one. I don't know. I just hope that we could move on, man, move on from this, and with that said, man, we're gonna conclude this here. We're gonna leave the video here because we could be here ranting for hours. We could be here for another few hours. But I gotta get ready for a Nick game soon, so I have to have dinner and get ready. So, other than that, Chris, I know we're gonna have more podcasts. Don't forget, hit the like over and also support Chris's channel as well. So it is Chris the Flash SHY Talk at Yahoo channel. It'll be featured later on. I'll put it on the BX Sports JEDI community page as a featured channel. You go in there, hit the like, and you'll be having some videos shortly. But man, Chris, I know we're gonna have some more videos with any news. The minute we get any news, any firings or anything, replacement of coaches and stuff, we'll be on to have our instant reaction. But other than that, man, Chris, give me your final thoughts here.
Yeah, like I said in the beginning, we had a good regular season. We had a poor postseason. I just, as a Yankee fan, we just need stuff to change. So, Hall, whatever you're doing, wake up, please, and stop embarrassing your father's legacy, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Absolutely. We would like to, shame on Hal. We didn't see you. We would have loved to see you there front and center, at least just there, even if you don't say nothing, just your demeanor. To see you there with a serious face, I think as us as Yankee fans, we're like, oh, he's mad or he's up, or we could interpret your body language of being bothered, and we would have wanted. We want to see that face because you are the owner. You're the front and center. You're Mr. Yankee. So we want to see you there front and center, at least there even if you're there with a bitter beer face, upset, PS, caputo, whatever you want to, whatever adjective or you want to say, upset and bothered. We want to see him there, and the fact that you may wasn't there. Hopefully you're healthy. Hope you're not sick or not all that, but. We would have loved to see you there front and center, taking the slings and arrows from the media, and we want to see more accountability from you. We know that you love, we know you own the team. You love the team because you probably would have sold it, but you have to show us the fan base. You have to show us. You have to show it. It's like Janet Jackson said, "What have you done for me lately?" And we want to see you. We want to see you how. Show us what have you done for us Yankee fans lately, because we're here. We support the product. No matter what, I mean, we spent almost 2 hours, actually 2 hours, talking about the product. We love it. So as fan base, we want to see it. We want a winner. We just want to root, but we want to be playing. We want to be, instead of breaking this down, we should be talking about getting ready for game number 5. Potential clincher. That's what we want to do. But it is what it is. But we're going to say goodnight here. Thank you guys for joining us on the audio platform, here on the video platform as well. Thanks for our guest, Mikey Mazda, the 4 Train Express. We also had the Knicks Morning Brew, Hector, joining us. And, of course, the one and only, my partner, Chris the Flash. Thank you, guys. You have a good evening, and we'll see you soon.
Do not hesitate. Show no mercy.
Don't know the power of the dark side. It is pointless to resist, my son.
Stretch out with your feelings.